everybody, and welcome back to the Xbox Show. I'm your host, Tom, with my co-host today,
Mr. Geek. Hello.
Well, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
It's another day in lockdown. How are you?
Another day in lockdown, yeah. I mean, the video games are coming out, kind of. We got video games.
Well, we got video games. That's all we currently have.
But, yeah, aside from that, let's...
Another exciting week of Xbox. It's always an exciting week of Xbox, isn't it?
Yep. I think the biggest thing that we have to jump into and talk about first will be the new hype Xbox Game Pass title, which has been out for a while on Switch and PC, but it's finally come to Xbox now. Of course, we're talking about Hades, the amazing roguelike Greek mythology hack and slash.
I just focused on the Greek mythology. You had me there.
Yeah.
Greek mythology, great soundtrack,
Yep.
Amazing visuals.
Yeah, artwork's really good.
50+ Game of the Year awards.
Didn't it win a BAFTA as well? Or was it nominated for a BAFTA? I feel like
I'm
it
not
was,
entirely sure.
I feel like it was nominated for one of those fancy awards.
It definitely got like some heavy-hitting awards.
And it came out of nowhere. I remember, so I first played Hades back when I was stuck in lockdown in New Zealand, and I bought it on the Christmas sale, and then I played it for a bit, enjoyed it, came out on the Switch, played it on the Switch, really enjoyed it, and now it's come to Xbox on Game Pass.
Not only on Game Pass, it's available on console,
on everything now.
Obviously Game Pass on PC, via Xbox Game Pass for PC, and cloud gaming. So I've been seeing a lot of folks on Twitter sharing their photos of their, obviously, xCloud gameplay of Hades out and about. Obviously, we can't go out, but, you know,
Yeah.
It was still cool to see people out there playing on their phones and playing this game that's now just blown up out of nowhere.
I do like the fact, I will say, this game is a difficult game. I have not beaten it yet. Excuse me.
That's not helpful for me at all.
I've made it to what I think is the final boss. It's hard to say because I've not gotten past it. And it's just really, really difficult because, for those of you who don't know what a roguelike is, it's the game where if you die, you generally start all the way back at the beginning again, and each run you play is different each time, so you never know what you're going to get. And in Hades, they mix it up by...
So you can't learn, can you? I mean, you can't really do it over and over and over again and then learn.
The way that you learn in this game is you learn by the enemies that you face and their attack patterns. So you're like, oh, yep, I understand how to do that. And then as you go throughout the game, you talk to the other Greek gods, Zeus, Hermes. All their names are just blanking out of my head right now. But you speak to them and they give you buffs and bonuses, which will change your playstyle throughout the game. So like when you talk to Zeus, you get a bunch of lightning abilities. And the lightning abilities will chain through other enemies. Okay. If you talk to Ares, he usually has your attacks get like additional damage, or my favorite one is when you do a dash, you leave behind some whirling blades that are good for when you're trying to dash away from enemies.
Okay.
But it mixes up. Each time it's a different run. But you basically learn by practicing, like learning what the bosses do, learning what the enemies do. There's a bunch of different weapons that you can unlock, so you can find stuff to fit your playstyle.
Okay.
So
tell me a bit about Hades itself, because you're not playing as Hades, or you're not doing anything related to Hades. Tell me a bit about that.
It's a bit of a trick. So Hades is a game where you play as Hades' son called Zagreus.
Zagreus.
He's very, very cool, very handsome.
Yes.
And he's trying to escape from the underworld and make it to the overworld. And
I presume that's what it's called.
Yeah, I think so. Overworld, the real world. And Hades, his dad, is like, okay, you can try, but you're never going to escape. And every time you die, you literally land back in front of your dad's desk. And he's like, told you, you're never escaping. That's pretty much it. You're basically, Zagreus, son of Hades, trying to escape from hell.
So why isn't it called Zagreus?
Because nobody knows who Zagreus is, right?
True.
Because you know Greek mythology.
I've not heard of a Zagreus before.
Because, I don't want to... No, I won't talk spoilers, but It does seem like it could be a real Greek myth, maybe.
I guess I'll have to go and investigate by looking at some ancient Greek vases because that's how they used to note down their stories back in the day.
We've all seen Hercules.
Yeah. I need the muses. Are the muses in the game?
There is a muse in the game. There's a muse.
Okay.
And speaking of, because the muses inspire. Oh, what's the music guy's name? Orpheus? No.
Music guy.
There's a guy that plays music. One of the Greek gods, or at least one of Hades' court musicians who plays music throughout the game.
No idea.
Okay, well, he's really awesome.
Okay, so.
But Hades,
cool.
that's what I've been playing. That's literally, I love the game. It's a bit difficult. Bear with it. I'd say it's on Game Pass. It's free. Just give it a go.
Well, I mean, it's on Game Pass, but despite the fact of you telling me I won't be able to play this game given how challenging it is, I really like the look of the physical copy, so much so that I actually picked it up. And I'm waiting for my pre-order because lockdown life. But the physical edition actually looks really good because I think the first run of prints are printed on a foil. So you kind of have that foil kind of look on the physical disc, which I'll show you guys when I get the actual copy. Obviously, it comes with a download code for the soundtrack,
which is amazing. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know because I won't be wasting that then. And an art book or a character guide.
Yeah. So in the Switch one, it was it was quite small.
Well, I mean, the Switch packaging is really small.
So we don't know if the Xbox One will come with a bigger manual.
Well, stay tuned for an unboxing.
Yeah. That's Hades. What else is new?
I've been seeing a lot of people talk about this boyfriend dungeon game. I mean, boyfriend dungeon. What is this boyfriend dungeon game? Because I watched a little sneak peek, and it looks like you play or you date weapons. These weapons turn into boyfriends, so it's kind of like a dungeon crawler mixed with a dating sim, and you get like up to 7 weapons to date.
Okay.
I don't know. People are talking about it.
Yeah.
It's on Game Pass, day 1 release.
I've literally only heard about this in the last couple of years. I've not seen anything for it at all, apart from people just mentioning the boyfriend dungeon.
I mean, I guess it's one of the... I don't want to say that it's a meme game, but it kind of feels like someone just decided to wake up one day. It's like, what if you could date your weapons?
Yeah, you've heard of, is it How to Fool Boyfriend?
No.
That's the pigeon dating game.
Oh my god.
Do you remember that showing you that? That was on Game Pass.
So what, pigeons go around dating other pigeons?
Yeah,
or is it a human being trying to date a pigeon?
I think it's a human. You go to like some weird pigeon bird high school and it's like...
But you're a human being.
Yeah, and you talk and interact with all the pigeons and eventually start dating them, or the different birds. Yeah, dating games.
I have no words.
Yeah. I think the big key one as well that everybody talks about, usually when you talk about these dating simulator games, is one called Doki Doki Literature Club.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's the other go-to. It's not what it seems.
Wasn't there another one like Boyfriend Daddy
or Daddy Dating Simulator?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the other one.
Oh my god.
So, I mean, some of them are pretty popular. So
wow.
I guess we'll see. Oh, it's on Game Pass.
It's free, so why not give it a shot, right? I mean, do you want to date some weapons?
I can't even imagine. All I can think of is that goes through my head. Do you remember Flint the Time Detective?
No.
It's this really old, came out in the 90s. Or maybe it was it late 90s? It must have been late 90s. And all I can remember from the show is his dad turns into a hammer. And it's like just this hammer with eyes on it. And Flint's this little caveman kid who beats people up with his dad as a hammer. That's all I can think of when I think
oh my god.
dating different weapons.
Well, I mean, okay, so we've got that as one extreme.
Yeah. In
terms of new games that have come out this week on Game Pass and on Xbox, obviously. We also have the other extreme, Lawnmowing Simulator.
See, that's not even an extreme.
Isn't it?
We've got the one that comes to mind. The extreme one is Goat Simulator.
Yeah, but is that really extreme though? I feel like Goat Simulator is more accepted than Lawnmower Simulator.
For those of you who don't know, the simulator games gained massive popularity. I mean, they were always there in the background, but they kind of picked up popularity again with Surgeon Simulator, which came out. Is it pushing 10 years now? It's got to be pushing 10, maybe five, at least 5 years ago that it came out, and it was an over the top. Everything is controlled via a mouse and some buttons on a keyboard, and you just do surgery on people. And then that sort of reinvigorated the simulation craze. And then you eventually got things like Farming Simulator, which is another massively popular one. Firefighter Simulator, Truck Simulator. Literally everybody jumped onto the simulator bandwagon, and it was...
So speaking of, now that you mentioned Surgeon Simulator, I believe that we also have Surgeon Simulator 2 coming out soon, as well as Car Mechanic Simulator.
Is Surgeon Simulator 2 on the Game Pass? Or
I'm not sure if it's out yet.
It's in a beta. It was in beta at the start of this year, or like some technical alpha.
It's coming soon, but again, simulation games.
They're good. They're nice and chill.
Well, I agree. I mean, Flight Simulator is a game I really enjoyed. Flight Simulator. I think it was just so relaxing, and obviously I took it the next level and just went wild with it. I'm really excited to see what I can do with a lawnmower.
Yeah, I think it's for people who just nice and chill. It's kind of like you're running a mini business in the background.
Well, so that's the thing with Lawn Mowing Simulator is that there's also an aspect of business management in the game. So you're not just mowing lawns, you're also looking after your own business and managing all that comes with having your own business and running your own business. Yeah,
because I mean, like even games like I used to really enjoy PC Building Simulator. That was really cool. It literally teaches you how to build a computer, because everyone thinks computers are really hard and difficult to put together, but they're not. They're just a really expensive jigsaw puzzle, which you can't. If you break anything, it's costly to replace.
Stick with the jigsaw puzzle then.
But I mean, I'll play it. I mean, I've got Hades to play, who's a little bit more action packed.
I think it'll be really nice though to just sit back, have your controller, have your character sit on a lawnmower, and just scroll along. And just,
I wonder what the music's going to be key. I wonder what the music's like.
It better be as good as Flight Simulator, because Flight Simulator was really good. It had really good music.
The Flight Simulator music only comes on, though, during the discovery flights. As far as so even if you're on a normal flight, though, it doesn't come up.
Maybe you'll discover new lawns?
Who knows?
Well, I mean, we're keen to try it. I'm definitely keen to try it and just see how it goes. Moving on, we also have had big news about a game that really took over the Xbox world when it came out originally. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice has finally been updated with enhanced graphics, DirectX ray tracing, all optimized for the Xbox Series X and Series S, which means you get to enjoy this game all over again, looking as sharp as it possibly can.
So are they doing the typical Xbox thing where if you bought the game on Xbox One X, you get a free upgrade?
I would assume so. I've not really looked into that part of it. I mean, I would assume so because it's available on Game Pass as well.
Yeah, so you must... It has to be. I can't imagine them...
Look, Xbox is all about making games as easy and accessible as possible. I highly doubt they would say, look, you want the upgraded version? Go and buy $100.
I mean, they're doing that for like Cyberpunk. You buy Cyberpunk on Xbox One, and when it comes out to Series X.
I think it's the same concept, really. It's just been optimized. So if you are playing it on an Xbox and you then decide, I'm going to purchase a Series X if it ever comes back in stock, I'm not sure. I'm sure it'll just carry forward and the optimized version will be what's offered to you. But
this is one game I didn't end up playing. All I remember is very weird, set in hell, isn't it? And
I'm not sure if it's hell, but it looks very creepy. It's kind of got this
like the rituals and the face painting. And...
I don't know. I've not played it. I'm not sure if I want to play it. It's one of those games where...
But again, this is the whole... So the game originally came out before Xbox Game Pass was a thing. And with these sort of games, it's like, probably not. I'm probably going to save my money instead.
Yeah.
Now,
because it's on Game Pass,
you freaking just try it and see if you like it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Game Pass. I love Game Pass.
We love Game Pass. Not sponsored.
But Xbox A and Z, if you want to sponsor us,
I mean, we won't say no. All right, moving on. In the world of Xbox, there's some cool things in store. Obviously, this year marks Xbox's 20th anniversary. There'll be a massive celebration, no doubt, in November. But there's also a couple of other things that have been announced recently. And the most special one to me is Xbox has partnered with the Special Olympics to bring out the inaugural Gaming for Inclusion esports tournament.
Nice.
And I mean, that's pretty cool because obviously the way the world is currently with the pandemic, a lot of in-person events or a lot of IRL events have all been cancelled. I mean, look how hard it was to get the actual Tokyo Olympics going.
Having the late a year almost.
Yeah, and it was just bizarre not seeing anyone in the stadium cheering the athletes on. So, with the Special Olympics being so hard to have an in-person competition, Xbox is helping the Special Olympics by having a virtual esports tournament. So they're giving these athletes, whether they have intellectual disabilities or not, an opportunity to compete with games like Rocket League, Forza Motorsport 7, Madden, NFL. There's all these different avenues to allow these athletes to still get that feeling of being able to interact with others, be online. And it helps with the gaming industry as well, because it means more people are able to play games. And I think that's something very special, because you get to do all the things that you would need to train and esports players, they do train as athletes would. So you're allowing these athletes to participate, train, have all those things that they would normally do had the Special Olympics gone on.
Yeah.
But now you get to do it in a really fun environment. I mean, who doesn't want to play games with a bunch of lovely people and compete? And the best part is they'll compete, and then the winners then get to go and play these games with celebrities. So, NBA stars, NFL stars, apparently WWE stars. I mean, how cool would that be? And so, I don't know. I mean, I think this is something that's so special and really speaks to my heart personally, because...
Yeah, I was going to say, it's good to see that Xbox are continuing on with the gaming for everybody. They brought out the adaptability controller. Adaptive controller. And usually, you'd figure companies go, we've done our part, see ya. But it's good to see that, no, they actually do care. And are continuing to show support in events and things like this.
And it's not just, obviously, this one particular event. They've done things with Gamers Outreach. They've done things to raise funds for charity, for all kinds of people from all walks of life, whether they are, disabled people who aren't able to play games and enjoy games. You hear stories of Xbox basically donating some adaptive controllers to hospitals and things to allow people to play games. And they haven't just locked the adaptive controller as, here's a controller, do what you will with it, but you're not allowed to change it in any way to suit you. What they've done is they've gone, here's the adaptive controller, you have something you want to add to it, great, add to it. And I think, if from memory serves, they worked with Logitech to do something to kind of make the adaptive controller more accessible for people who want to play in different ways. And I think that that's something that's so cool. And that's the one thing that I personally love about Xbox, is that they just do these amazing things. Like, making money isn't the be-all, end-all. It's, hey, how can we get more people to play games? Because games are fun, and games help, and games almost like a universal language for everyone, which is really nice. So yeah, I'm really, really just very happy that they're doing things like this, and obviously it just makes me feel very proud to wear Xbox gear and things like that. So yeah, it's really cool. But the other cool thing that they announced as well is Gamescom. Gamescom is happening very soon, in 10 days, I believe.
Yeah.
And
so Gamescom is the effectively, is it the little brother to E3?
It's the Europe version.
Yeah.
Yeah. So normally, obviously, at Gamescom, it's held in Germany. You'd have this big, massive show, almost as big as E3. The
Yeah.
Xbox showcase at E3. You pretty much have that same thing at Gamescom. Xbox goes all out for both E3, Gamescom, and obviously their yearly Xbox event, which obviously we didn't have one last year or this year. We had XO19 in London.
Yeah. Last year, does the Series X, Series S launch count? It wasn't an event.
Well, it wasn't an event,
They didn't
really.
do in-person events at all.
No, it was more fan fests and things like that. But yeah, no, it wasn't anything.
They tried, yeah, because they tried to do the fan fest thing with the quiz, and unfortunately, technical issues stopped that from happening.
But clearly they learned, because at E3 we had a fan fest event, and that was really nice. We got to talk to Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond and Pete Hines, and yeah, so I think Gamescom this year, from what I read, they're going to be kicking off Gamescom with an Xbox show hosted by Paris Lilly and Kate Yeager, who are just two really amazing people. You should follow them. And I guess we'll see some cool things from Xbox. No doubt we'll see all of the previously announced games at E3, just get a bit more of an inside look. I'm keen to see a little bit more about Forza Horizon 5. I think that was probably one of my favorite bits from E3, is just seeing how good it looked. And I can't wait to see what are the cars, what else do we get from Forza Horizon 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you?
I just want to see some release dates. Just give me some release dates. Let me know.
But it's holiday 2021.
Yeah, just give me some release dates. We can start counting down. I just want to know, Halo, is it actually going to happen this year?
Do we get a controller?
Yeah, Forza. It is Forza Horizon. Yeah, Forza Horizon. I always prefer the Horizon ones over the regular ones, because it's usually crazy, and I love the DLCs that come out with them.
Oh, maybe they'll show off what the DLC is, because obviously with Forza Horizon 3 we had the Hot Wheels DLC.
So we had Hot Wheels for 3, we had Lego for 4. So
what's the next thing?
It's Micro Machines. It's got to be Micro Machines, right?
But I don't know, what other car-ish kind
So they
of...
did, with Forza Horizon 3, they also did Fast and the Furious.
Okay.
Because they timed it in with one of the movies.
Well, we missed the boat with this one. The movie's already out.
So yeah, Micro Machines. My money's on Micro Machines.
Okay, I guess we'll see. So speaking about Xbox's 20th anniversary, it's been 20 years, right? Yeah. It's been 20 years, but obviously neither one of us...
Bill Gates came out with The Rock and presented the original Duke Xbox console.
It was so long ago. I mean, obviously I have a very different story to most, because I came in much later, but...
Well, both of us did. So we didn't join the Xbox family until the Xbox One, which is basically when we first joined the family. So do you want me to start with mine?
I've not heard your story, so please tell me.
Alrighty.
How did you get into Xbox?
Let me tell you the story about how Xbox managed to turn a Sony fanboy into...
You mean not a Nintendo fanboy?
I was basically anti-Xbox all the way. Back in the UK, my friends were getting Xboxes. I had a PS2. I had all the Game Boys. I did not want to have anything to do with the Xbox. I think I just didn't like the original Xbox controller design. I remember going over to my mate's house who was playing Halo and holding this like massive controller in my hand, just being like, I mean, it was still fun. It was a games console. I was a kid, so it was still a games console. But it wasn't until 2011, which is when the Xbox One was announced. Was it 2011 or 2013? 2013.
Must be 11, right? Surely. No, can't be that.
2013, yeah. It was November 2013. There we go. And so it was 2013. I was a games coordinator for an electronics store. And because I was in that position, we actually got pulled to a special event. I've got all these memories coming up on Facebook now where we were showing off the Xbox One for like an actual physical one before anyone else in New Zealand at the very least. So it had already been announced at E3, so we got to see it. We were showing all the demos and everything. We got invited to a special event called Armageddon, which is a wannabe convention in New Zealand. I mean, I say wannabe, it's because it's so small and compared to everything else. Like Armageddon was great, don't get me wrong, but it was just New Zealand's like gaming convention. And we got pulled into all the events, and at the end, we got shown all this Xbox stuff. And at the end, our Microsoft rep stood up and was like, "Right, just letting you all know, everybody here today is getting an Xbox One." Multiple years worth of Xbox Live and every first party title on launch day.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool announcement to hear. So was it like November 11th or November 13th? Console comes out. Get it day one with Rise, Son of Rome, Dead Rising 3, and Forza 5. I think is it Forza 5 or Forza 4? And that's how my Xbox life started.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a dream. I mean, yes, I did get the Series S console to review and keep, but man, all the first party games.
Yes, and then I managed to con the Sony team into giving me a PS4. I told them my Sony rep came in and I was like, "Hey, listen, man, love to promote your new stuff, but kind of giving an Xbox console." And then he told me, "Okay, so all right, let me talk to my guys." And he comes back a week later and he's like, "All right, you're getting a PS4, you're getting a controller, you're getting all the games." I'm like, "Yep, my job here is done."
That's why you're together with me now, isn't it? Because you got 2 next gen consoles for free, and then many years later you met me, and now you just get Xbox Game Pass. You get
excuse me, I still bought all my consoles, still bought my PS5, still bought my Xbox Series X.
To be fair, I
Scorpio console as well.
True, we did buy it. Yes, we don't tend to get given consoles unless it's just a short term one, like the Xbox One X that we got to review and give back. Yeah, wow, okay.
So that was like my first...
That's all it took, just freebies.
No. It was a little bit more than that. So I played the console, it was fine. Still playing my PS4 as well. And then eventually another rep from Xbox came up to me and was like, "Hey, there's this program that we're going to test out and run in New Zealand. Basically, you play games and we'll give you some money." And I was like, "In." Where do I sign the line? And eventually this turned out to be the Microsoft Expert Zone program, where if you guys remember from yonks ago, Xbox would host a channel on originally Twitch. We'd play games using the inbuilt Twitch streaming platform that was on the Xbox One, which was amazing for its time. I play a bunch of games, show them off, get given some credit on the side to buy some games. So I literally had a couple of years before I have to actually buy a game, and was playing that. And then eventually I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest days that we had is Fallout 3. No, was it 4?
Oh, 4.
Fallout 4. Because we were in New Zealand, we're ahead of the rest of the world. I stayed up and streamed the midnight launch of Fallout 4. And because all the consoles were time zone locked, I was the only person streaming Fallout 4, and my chat was just going, I had over 1,000 viewers, my chat going wild and telling me how I'm going to be banned and, you're going to get removed from Twitch. I'm like, no, I live in the future, so...
But you were streaming on the Expert Zone channel,
on
right?
The Expert Zone channel, yeah.
So it did have that credibility to it as well. It wasn't just this random stranger.
Channel, yeah. But it was good times. And then... eventually met you.
You met me during that stream. I was there watching you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not after that.
Well, not after that, but I mean, after I'd been indoctrinated into the Xbox Zone community, the Xbox Zone community, super lovely. All the OG American game masters. That's what they called us. Game masters were awesome. The other New Zealand game masters were cool as well. Yeah, it was a super lovely little community, and it really, I guess, stole my heart. And so I was like, this Xbox console, not too bad. I'll stick with this.
And that's where my story kicks off, because I remember when I met you, I was never a fan of playing games online. I'd always grown up with the whole stranger danger thing. Don't go into chat rooms. Don't do anything online with other people that you don't know. Even talking to friends on MSN Messenger, my parents were like, oh my God, this is terrible. But when I met you and I used to come over to yours and, sit and watch you stream games on this Expert Zone channel as a game master, not only was I exposed to, you're playing games with people online from all over the world, but you were also streaming and talking to people live from all over the world. And to me, that just blew my mind as someone who was only ever playing single player games. I remember just being so concerned for you initially and being like, why are you doing this online? There's people out there. Do you know who they are? And then you showed me, hey, look, I followed them on Twitter and we got to start seeing all the different game masters and building a relationship with them. And I started watching you stream. And so I made a Twitch account and started watching you stream and interacting with these people who are watching you. And that's when I realized, what were my parents on about? It's actually fine. Being online with other people, no worries.
It's funny you say that because I actually met some people. I told you this before. I met some people through League of Legends and then met up with them in real life. My parents were just like, as long as you're you think you're safe with me, just go out and meet.
I come from an Asian background. In Asia, it's all no.
Yeah.
Study. But obviously that opened up my whole world because I felt so sheltered prior to that. And seeing the Xbox community be so interactive and engaging and just so lovely and really supportive as well of your streams. They would always show up. I'd see the same names every single time that you stream. So much so I became friends with them as well. And we used to play some of the games together because then I really wanted to play online with you and the rest of the Expert Zone game masters, but also the rest of the community. And I remember when you were playing, it was not Paladins, Smite.
Yeah.
I think, and I thought that was really cool to play these games that was purely online. There was no campaign mode where you just play it on your own. It was just purely online.
Team game. Yeah.
And that's when I really clicked, like, hey, maybe I should try playing multiplayer games. But at the time, I just had a PS3, and it wasn't even mine, it was my brother's. So I had nothing to play with, really, that had the capabilities of going online and giving me that smooth experience. Because eventually, when I did try to play online on a PS3, it just didn't work right. Or at least I didn't know how to. Whereas with Xbox Live, it was just so smooth. The entire Xbox ecosystem, from the services to the consoles, was just easy. And I still remember one of the things that I really loved about the Xbox One was when I walked into the room and we decided to watch something, you just go, Xbox on, and it comes on. And then the Kinect as well, obviously, that for me was cool because I'd never been exposed to a game console that could hook up to a camera. I'd always thought webcams were the only thing. I was really very backward before I met you. And so it was like, whoa, hey, this is so cool. It can track your movements. And when you walked into the room, it just turns on. It was just like, what is this technology? And so because of
F's
that...
in chat for the Xbox Kinect. It's been reduced to baggage scanners at airports now.
Hey, that's what Xbox does. They make a product that you don't just use for one thing. You can do anything with it. It's value for money. But going back to my experience with Xbox. So again, I grew up with Game Boy, so Nintendo, Sony, PS2, PS3. I also come from a country where all my consoles were never really the real thing. They were knockoffs that I owned.
PlayStation that accepted cartridges.
Yeah, I had a PlayStation that accepted cartridges. And so it wasn't until you told me that that's not how it's meant to be. It's like, oh, wait a minute. What about the 100 games in a cartridge for my Game Boy? Is that real? So yeah, I never really had a console that was mine and that allowed me the capabilities that I wanted to be able to play games online, especially with you, because we were living separately. We didn't see each other as often. And so obviously to connect a bit more, playing games online would have been really fun. So I remember coming down to the store and saying to you, hey, I really want an Xbox console. Remember that event we went to, XO and Z, that showed off the Halo 5 limited edition console?
Yeah.
I saw the colors and I was just like, you're telling me that there are consoles out there that don't just look plain and a single color. There are consoles that looked like it was just pulled out from a gold mine.
I feel like that was the year as well that Xbox were definitely dominating like the custom.
Oh, 100%.
designs.
That was the year that the Elite controller was released. And it was at that event, I believe, that's where we got to see the Elite controller.
Yep.
And it was all on display, so we got to see the Halo 5 console, the lock controller.
Is this where you won the laptop as well?
No.
Oh,
That's not an Xbox event.
No, I couldn't remember if that's the same thing.
All the events now just intertwine with one another over the years. But no, this is where we got to see the lock custom controller, the Master Chief controller, the Elite
this was
controller.
For Halo 4.
Halo 5. Guardians.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I was so blown away that I came to the store and I was like, hey, you remember that console that we saw? I want it. How much is it? And then you were like, I can get a staff discount. You're my partner, friends and family. And I mean, it wasn't that much of a discount. It was still really expensive. But I bought it, went home, straight away hooked it up. And the next thing I knew, I was playing Overwatch on that console. And Overwatch blew me away because it was the first time I played a game that had all my style of gaming in that one game, but it was also online.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started playing with you.
Yep.
And after a while, I think after seeing you stream so much, I realized, hey, wait, did you know I write movie reviews, I do anime reviews. I'm going to start writing game reviews. I'm going to have a console now. I can play games now. I can actually write about games. And hey, since you take forever with your Destiny raids and I have to just sit there and watch you, I might as well join you and actually do something with this new area that I've just come into. And I started streaming for the Expert Zone as well.
Yeah, we got you on board, and you were a part of the community.
And then I became a game master and started streaming and getting to know the Xbox community. And, like you said, because they were so lovely and everyone was so tight-knit, that sense of belonging was so life-changing for me that I ended up going on and signing up to become an Xbox ambassador, started doing all of the missions and getting to know people. And
just taken off from there.
It's just gone from there. I mean, it's so funny how you start off from something so simple, but it makes such an impact in your life.
So, because you probably won't toot your horn, so I will. So, what are you? Xbox MVP for 2020?
2019, 2020.
Xbox Hall of Famer.
Yes.
I think those are your big accolades. Obviously, you got your Women of Xbox that you run.
Yep.
There's the GPN.
Chief Diversity Officer.
Chief Diversity Officer. What else?
Xbox Ambassador, Community Champion, I guess.
Doing all the Xbox things.
Yep.
Practically #1 biggest fan in Australia and New Zealand, I'd say.
Probably, yeah. I bought God knows how many controllers that I don't even want to think about how much I've spent. I literally spent all my money, all my salary, I should say, on the Xbox Gear Shop. As you can see, like this is from the Gear Shop that I bought. As soon as they announced it, bam, I got it.
Is it 2018 E3? Was it 2017 E3 controller?
2017 E3 controller.
That's the year we met
Major Nelson and all of them. Yeah. And that was the other thing, right? Because we were game masters and Xbox ambassadors, when we went to E3, Xbox actually don't just do their showcase and, put everything aside. They actually take the time to have events for the community as well, which again, this is why I love Xbox so much. And I will bat for them till the day I die because they put their gamers, their community, and their people first. So, like, for example, when we went to E3, we got to enjoy the showcase. It was great. We got to see all the different games that were going to be out, and we got to see the reveal of the Xbox One X in 2017. We got to see Phil Spencer up there on stage, and that was amazing. It was a great time. But that's not the memory that I hold on to. The memory that I hold on to is that evening where
when we went out to dinner.
When we went out, no, not dinner. We went to the Xbox Ambassadors and Expert Zone kind of social event that they had the after hours. So they have an after hours event where they invite everyone in the Xbox Ambassadors, Fan Fest, Expert Zone, like basically all the people in their community get to come down.
That E3, so there was a special, if you got in quick enough, I think it was like maybe, was it couldn't have been 400 tickets, a couple of hundred tickets. Remember, they got to sit front and center, and they got the T-shirts with their gamer tags on.
You're crossing everything. Now. That's FanFest.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, let's break it down for you guys. There's such a thing called Xbox FanFest. Every year, you can essentially enter like a lottery to gain a ticket, which gives you access to go into the showcase and sit right in the front to experience the showcase. You get all kinds of swag that are kitted out as FanFest and branded all Xbox FanFest. You then also get a special ticketed invite to speak and interact and engage with other FanFest members, but also the studio execs as well. So you get to meet Phil Spencer, you get to meet Major Nelson, Jeff Rubinstein, Aaron Greenberg, just everyone in the Xbox staff, especially those who are a bit more front and center. You get to meet them, you get to chat with them. And the thing that I've heard is that you don't feel that sense of, whoa, that's Phil Spencer. I can never talk to him. He's too cool for me. He's right there, just a dude, just wanting to interact with people who love games as much as he does. And it's the same with Aaron Greenberg, same with any of them, really. And I can say that that's 100% true because I've spoken to them. I've been in a conversation on Clubhouse with Aaron Greenberg, and we were talking about the pandemic and just talking about what life in Australia is like compared to the US. And, we barely spoke about Xbox because at the end of the day, Xbox staff members and the key Xbox executives don't want you to think of them as not accessible. They're these, high profile people. They're just people, and they love games as much as we do. So that's Xbox FanFest. Then there's Xbox Ambassadors. Now, the Xbox Ambassadors are basically the Xbox community members who love Xbox and game on Xbox and do everything on Xbox, that they want to help others in the gaming community enjoy the experience of gaming on Xbox. So, for example, if you're stuck with a support question and you're not getting help from Xbox support, or you don't want to wait to hear back from them, there are Xbox ambassadors out there who'll answer the questions for you, who'll help you. There's this entire forum where Xbox ambassadors essentially live, and they answer these questions. I mean, I was doing that for ages and just sitting online every evening, just answering questions about how do you log into your Microsoft account on a console? How do you send a friend request? How do you see your messages on the Xbox app? All kinds of questions. Sometimes we'd get really weird questions, but all kinds of questions. And it's not Xbox staff that answer them. It's the Xbox ambassadors. And of course, because the Xbox ambassadors love gaming on Xbox so much, it's almost like this inner feeling of wanting to make Xbox the number one place to play games, or at least make people feel so comfortable playing on Xbox that we can then welcome them into the Xbox ambassadors community. And so it's all about making games safe, welcoming, enjoyable for everyone, because at the end of the day, we love Xbox. We want you to love Xbox. And hopefully, if you love Xbox, you can then go and spread that love outside and to everyone else. And I could go on about this for forever, about how much I love the Xbox ambassadors. And going back to that E3 thing, the event that we went to was a after hours invite only event for the FanFest members, for the Xbox ambassadors, Expert Zone streamers, and I believe it might have been like competition winners and all that as well. Xbox partners, retail members, so people like yourself back when you were working as the games coordinator. If you were in the US, I'm sure you would have had an invite. And it was all about just having that time to be at the stations and just play a bit of the new games, get to experience what it's like, showing off the Xbox One X when we were there. It was on display. All the hardware had been opened out, so you could see every stage.
Very cool, yeah.
You got to see Design Lab. So when we did the special controllers, we got to see all the different designs that were possible through Design Lab. And I think there were a lot of little mini events. So we got to listen to Major Nelson do a little bit of a show and tell speech about Xbox and gaming on Xbox. And then we got to have that. There was a little competition, remember, where someone drops. And you got to win. Maybe it was. I don't believe Game Pass had come out at that time, or it was still very new. It was
consoles. It was Elite controllers, custom Elite controllers. I think those were the biggest prizes.
Xbox Live accounts and things like that. And at the end of it, obviously, it was a mingling session as well. So you had your catering, and you got to eat and meet and greet people and talk to everyone. But at the end of it, you walked out the door with a goodie bag. And it wasn't just a lanyard and, just some simple trinkets. It was a Project Scorpio, limited Project Scorpio t-shirt. It was playing cards. It was, I believe we did get some Game Pass codes because Game Pass had just kind of come out. And there was just this, I literally still have it at home back in New Zealand because we had to leave our stuff in New Zealand. This massive bag just full of stuff.
It was very cool.
And it was like, wow, we don't get this kind of thing anywhere else. And it shows just how much care Xbox puts in to making you feel so good about being part of the community. And that's why I love Xbox. And that's why I keep doing all these things, even though I have no time in my day to just continue to push Xbox, because I think everyone should enjoy what Xbox has to offer, because their world will be so much better for it.
Yeah. Oh, what a journey.
I know. There's so much more to come as well. It's like, this is not the end of it as well,
Yeah, exactly.
We're only at the cusp of greatness.
Well, the next big thing, as you said, all the xCloud, all of the gaming without a console or the gaming on anything is the next big thing that's right around the corner.
It's not just gaming on anything, though. That's the thing that I'm still blown away by, is that you just buy it once.
Yeah.
And you can play it everywhere.
Yeah, buy it once, play anywhere.
So you play it on your Series X or S console, you play it on your phone, you play it on your PC, you just... Anywhere that there's a screen, I have a funny feeling this is what's going to happen. Anywhere where a screen is available, you'll be able to play Xbox games.
We'll see. Xbox will
Smartwatch playing...
I mean, they did get playable version of Doom on a pregnancy tester.
Oh my god, really?
So, so you can play games literally anywhere.
Wow, okay, that's next level. I mean, I guess it makes sense, because, you do have to wait, 2 minutes or something to see whether you're pregnant or not. Just play a little game.
It was a weird digital one, had a little mini digital screen.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone did manage to get a game onto their smartwatch. Someone in Korea did it.
You get games on your smartwatch.
Can you do that? Like Xbox Game Pass games?
I'm sure there's a way around it. There's nothing official.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, it's going to be a wild, wild ride, I think. The next few years on Xbox is going to be amazing. Not just from, a services point of view. They've got, obviously, who knows what's to come when it comes to next-gen gaming. What's next for the Series X? Is it going to be a Series X2 at some point? I mean, you got the One X.
The name conventions.
Yeah, the naming convention. Yeah.
Or at least it can't be worse than Wii to Wii U. Wii U.
No, but imagine saying Xbox Series X squared 2, Xbox Series X box 2.
I don't know.
I don't know. It's
I feel
just...
sorry for all the retail workers. I was there once trying to explain to customers Xbox One, Xbox One X,
Xbox Series X. Oh gosh.
I've been there.
But yeah, that's so that's our story of how we came into Xbox. We'd love to hear from you guys as to how did you come into the Xbox family? How did you get involved in gaming on Xbox? Let us know. You can obviously find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We obviously write reviews on our website. You can find us at attackongeek.com. You can find me personally as Miss Dares Geek. I'm literally everywhere. Anywhere that you see Xbox, I'm sure you'll find a little me hanging out. And yeah, I think we'll be sharing a lot more when it comes to Xbox. We will be doing a lot more when it comes to Xbox. Tom, no doubt, will be playing lots of Hades. So stay tuned for that.
Speaking of games we're playing a lot, so just 100% in Death's Door, got all the achievements. Death's Door, get it on Xbox, it's amazing.
Do you know how many times I've had to go to him and be like, why do you have to keep
I
playing
only played
games?
it for 8 hours. I did it, 10 hours. I think I did it in 10 hours. Still amazing.
Every time I walk into this room, I see him playing Death's Door.
Well, it's done now. I've 100% of the game, so...
Okay, that's it. That's no more Death's Door?
Well, I mean, unless they're going to release an expansion, I've done all the achievements.
You know, seeing how popular it is, I no doubt they'll probably do something.
I mean, there's 3 save slots. I've done it on 2 of them. Maybe I just do it for the third time, just to get the 300%.
You're not going to get a trophy or anything.
Well, but I mean, it looks cool. Anyways, what Dhayana said, subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Music. You can follow us on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter. Like, subscribe, favorite, all the social media things. You know what to do. I think that about does it for this week's episode of the Xbox Show. Thank you so much for watching. Any parting words?
Stay safe. Play games on Xbox, and let me know what you're playing, because I'm always keen to chat Xbox.
Yeah, we'll continue the conversation after the show in the comments section. And
yeah, stay tuned for Gamescom, which is out on the 24th of August. So no doubt we'll be sharing a lot more around then as well.
I'll be on the next episode. Thank you so much again for watching. Have a great one. See you guys next time. See ya.
Gamer.com